It's Oggy again for another video. Unfortunately, this one's kind of sad. I've lost Nessie. I had him for quite some time, probably over 6 months. He was doing great. Then over the last week, just like the last seahorse I had, he stopped eating properly and just basically passed away. I think he might have had another possible internal parasite or something. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm done with seahorses for a while at least. And yeah, it just really sucks. So basically today I thought I'd go over some of the negatives of reef keeping, some of the negative things that can happen in the reef tank, and how to get over it. So basically, let's start on the first thing. As you saw, Nessie passed away. I'm just going to say straight up, livestock loss, be it coral or seahorses or fish or even just your snails or hermit crabs, which all sucks. And basically the only way to deal with it is to fix the problem in the tank itself, be it ammonia or any like bad stuff such as copper or disease in the tank, which is causing your livestock to pass away, and then just soldier up and get on with it and do it again. Or for coral, it'll be to get your parameters correct. I haven't really lost too much coral or too much livestock in my short reefing experience, but it still sucks when I do. But all you can really do is pick yourself up again and try again, because anyone who decides to give up is just ultimately going to fail, and you'll never succeed that way. Secondly, I'd like to mention green hair algae. Green hair algae can sometimes really overtake tanks. It might just stay in small patches like it does here. It can just grow everywhere and look really ugly. The main way I deal with green hair algae is through water changes, reduce the nutrients in the tank, and obviously reduce livestock if need be. You can also run phosphate removers, GFO, or just get some fish or cleanup crew that will actually seek and eat green hair algae. Then over here in this tank, I have some dinos, and that is due to me running biopellets and having an insufficient skimmer. So eventually, when I'm weeding the tank off biopellets, and I'm going to remove them. So if there's a negative of biopellets, they can cause diatoms or even cyanobacteria. It is water change day. Also, bad RO water can also lead to diatoms.
Carbon may be a pain in the butt to change, but it has some serious benefits. It strips smells from the water column, which is fantastic, but more importantly, it gets rid of chemicals that corals release in chemical warfare, which end up basically using to kill each other. As long as you don't run too much carbon, which can cause some diseases in fish and can strip some things out of the water, you're pretty good. Biopellets can clog up and cause diatom and even crash tanks if you introduce too much and they start working too effectively by reducing it to zero. They're a great way to have extra stock in your tank, and as long as you have the right amount and maintain it properly, and have a decent skimmer, which I do not, it's a great way to add extra stock into the tank. As for calc can clog up pumps, skimmers, lines, etc. But it is a great way to maintain calcium and alkalinity as well as pH. And also it's super easy to use, whereas you can strip it straight to the tank over a period of time, or you can just put it in your ATO once you figured out the correct amounts. So yeah, diatoms are generally caused through nutrient issues, be it mainly phosphate, it could be nitrate as well, or just generally new tanks having silicons in the water also extremely feed diatoms. So like I said, heavy bioload, new tank, excess nutrients. Other ways you can actually deal with them, apart from using GFO and stuff like that, you can have like stuff like phosphate X. You can manually remove it during water changes, and then in extreme cases, as you can see, this looks like boop, you can actually just do a light out period of up to 3 days, and that should actually knock out a bulk of the diatoms. But they are generally part of every cycle. Eventually they do go away. So on the last note,
time. This hobby does take up a lot of time, be it in research or just waiting for tanks to stabilize and become ready and etc. But also time, it like stabilizes the tanks, it makes them so much better. So it could be your enemy, but it's actually your friend. The longer a reef tank is up, generally the better it goes. And lastly, the thing I want to mention is equipment cost and failure. So it is better to get, obviously, I'm not going to say more expensive, let's just say higher quality equipment is less likely to fail, but even higher quality equipment does fail after a certain period of time. And then the negative being expense. This hobby can be extremely expensive, but as long as you do your research, look out for deals, just seriously do some research, guys, before you buy anything. It will save you time, money. And finally, just have patience and don't give up. I know this tank looks ugly right now, but in a couple of months' time, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be full of coral and super lively fish. It's going to look amazing. And any of the failures I go through are totally worth it as long as I get the end result, which is obviously a beautiful reef tank. Everyone fails, guys. It's fine. It's just part of life. As long as you accept that and keep trying to better yourself and keep working towards your hobby or whatever you're doing, things are going to be fine. Thanks for watching. I hope your reef tanks are doing good, and I hope you guys are learning from your mistakes as well.